air, water, earth, fire. For hundreds of years, the four nations have lived in harmony. The Avatar, master of all four elements, was always responsible for maintaining the peace. But Avatar Roku passed away 13 years ago. Now, the four nations look to the air nomads to reveal the next Avatar, but the world is met with silence. Rumors from the Earth Kingdom abound that the Fire Nation is planning an aggressive move into the Earth Kingdom. 5 young heroes were too late to save the Southern Air Temple, but they hold vital information that could save the Earth Kingdom, and maybe even save the world. Previously on the Flying Bison Podcast.
The group formulated a grand plan to capture Iron, which hinged on Ren putting together a masterful play. Everything seemed to be going well for our heroes, until the enemy finally revealed themselves.
Who's counting down? Am I kidding? It's the fall season.
Guys,
welcome to the Flying Bison Podcast. We have never said have we ever said we're professionals?
I don't think we've ever claimed to be professionals.
I've never claimed to be a professional. You will not hear me say those words. I was actually thinking about that today. I was thinking about how doing this podcast has really taught me that literally anybody can GM. Because I was like sitting and like, Nick is looking at me like I'm crazy, but I was like sitting and thinking about like all the other GMs I've listened to, some of the like more professional ones, some of the like more indie ones like us. And I was like, especially in Powered by the Apocalypse, I'm like, I'm just kind of following what you guys do. You know what I mean? Like anyone can do that. I think with like D&D and Pathfinder, maybe like it might be a little harder to feel like you have to know all the rules and the math and the like abilities and whatnot. But with like something like this, like I'm kind of just reacting to what you guys do.
Well, just because anyone can do something doesn't mean that everyone can do it well, right?
That's true. I think people can do it pretty well.
In their own way.
I think I'm inclined to agree with Nick on this. I think some people just aren't built for GMing.
Really?
Yeah. Some people have a story that they really want to tell, and they think that the medium is tabletop RPGs, and they are incorrect. They want to write a novel with some input from their friends.
But then I would say that that's not true GMing.
Well, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
like, I wouldn't look at that game and be like, oh, that person is GMing. They're not GMing. They're telling their story, and they're making their players follow it along. But like, if you can be a little narratively humble and put aside your own thoughts, like anyone can GM.
So what you're saying is what you're saying is anyone can learn to GM.
Anyone can learn to GM. Yes. Yeah.
GM right.
Anyone wants to deal with the gaping holes in their personality. I guess that's our real exhortation for the world.
There you go, Justinita said it first, folks.
We finally got the truth out of
the official stance of the Flying Bison Podcast.
Official stance of the Flying Bison. Stop being and then you can GM.
Oh my god.
So Steve, I'm looking at you. You've got a ways to go.
Aw, thanks. I'll do my best.
No, I was gonna. It's fall. Did you all know it's fall? Do they have seasons in Spain?
They do.
Okay, good.
Especially certain parts, it's more noticeable. Well, because they have them, then yeah, they do.
It's not like Minecraft biomes. Like you just go like 100 yards in one direction, and it's like winter there.
Forest.
Spooky forest.
Imagine you're more than 100 yards, but it is more like that. Yeah, in Europe.
Who's excited for fall? You excited for fall, Nick?
Well, we just got our first like tornado of the season, so that was fun.
Speaking of fall, hey Johnny, what's that in the background?
Books.
He's deliberately pointing to the other side of the screen.
There's a pumpkin behind me.
You don't say.
You remind me of your feelings and thoughts on pumpkins and gourds.
They're behind you.
Pumpkins and gourds are a travesty. A failure of botanical evolution.
Why is it on your desk?
The aesthetic.
I was going to say, Johnny, I care about you. If this is a sign of things going badly,
I
just
expected
want
to
to
at least be
check
in like a cage or something. Like,
He doesn't want to eat them. It doesn't mean that he wants them, obliterated, eviscerated.
you probably love carving pumpkins for Halloween.
Mutilating.
You just take a knife and go at it.
A little masturbatory for you.
That's one way of putting it. If you're not stroking your ego, what are you stroking, you know?
Is this a
I like
fever
how
dream?
there was a quick moment where Steve just didn't react to what he just said. So it was almost like he was asking
Trying to act like it was a normal thing to say.
Yeah. And I found that more funny than what he actually said.
We're
You look at
professionals.
everyone as if like, why is everyone laughing? like I don't.
I was driving home today from picking up Rio from school, and I was thinking about fall, and I was thinking about pumpkins, and I was thinking about how growing up, Johnny, the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown must have been like an eldritch nightmare for you.
Let me clarify something for everybody, because this has come up in the Discord too. I'm not afraid of pumpkins. I just
no fear.
don't like the taste of them.
That's not what I've heard. I've heard an intense fear and hatred for the existence and concept of gourds.
No,
Maybe hatred.
hatred for the taste, but I don't fear them. I don't.
But on the other hand, the aesthetic.
the aesthetic. Yeah.
Do you feel like if they filmed a sequel to It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, you would play like an Ebenezer Scrooge type character who the three Halloween spirits would show the error of their ways regarding gourds and pumpkins, and you would come back and, you'd be like, what day is it? It's Halloween day, sir. Oh, good. I haven't missed the time. Quick, go buy me a slutty nurse outfit down the corner.
I signed an NDA, but you might want to subscribe to Peacock before it's too late. Because
It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, the sequel. Good stuff. Well, how do the rest of you feel about fall? Do you like fall though, Johnny? Like,
oh yeah,
as a vibe.
Yeah, I mean, he has a pumpkin for the aesthetic. I feel like he has to fall to some degree.
I was wondering if it was like just like a negotiated thing between him and his wife.
Yeah.
No, the pumpkin being here right now is my job.
I'll let you stay here for the aesthetic.
As long as you don't cook yourself and try to make me eat you, you can stay. Yeah.
Oh, you're wearing flannel. You can stay. That's a cute sweater. You can stay.
How about the rest of you? Fall? Do we like it? Do we hate it?
I like
Love fall.
Fall is my favorite season to dress for. I feel like I'm most comfortable dressing in fall attire.
I concur. I agree.
I used to live in New York, and I can say that, fall was my favorite to dress into because winter got a little too cold. I'm normally from California, so our winters here are like, 60 degrees?
60, yeah.
So that's fall for us, basically. So, yeah. But fall is cool. I like it. We don't get much of the seasons here, unfortunately, in San Diego. So when I see it, it's nice.
You get palms and slightly limp palms. Instead of like falling leaves. I'm just poking.
Have you ever seen a palm tree, Steve?
I have.
What time is it there?
Palms are sweaty.
It's 1:28 a.m. Here in we've been getting low 70s.
Yeah,
I did reveal it. Yeah,
I had to beat that out.
Yeah. Feel free, whoever edits this
Keep it
episode.
going. Just keep it going.
It's Madrid, Ohio.
That's right.
Right.
Madrid, Ohio. But yeah, I think fall's fine. I've always liked that time of year in New England, and this is my first fall in Madrid, and I don't expect it to be super noticeable. It's just like you don't get the sweltering hot days type of a deal. But I think it'll be nice.
I mean, you grew up in like the quintessential fall area. Like, I feel like when people think of that, like Connecticut, Boston, Massachusetts, like all that, it's like fall. I'm thinking about
Probably, yeah, right up to New Hampshire and Vermont. Yeah.
Did you get like a lot of tourists?
Not that I was aware of, as a suburbanite sheltered from everything in the world.
People
Not in the
pretending to
part
be
of
Gilmore
Connecticut
Girls.
that he's from.
Yeah, like you might get out of towners visiting, but there's always like some story associated. Like there's like, oh yeah, we have family here. It's like, oh, they're great. You're not a tourist. Like you're just family.
You're visiting family.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're visiting family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in the same general area that Steve is from for like 5 years. It is definitely not like a tourist area. That's all like the coast, which is an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Oh, that is too far. That's too far. I feel like to the point where if you had tourists, you'd be like, what are you doing here? Like, go that way.
Exactly. We'd be a little
Are you
confused.
here for the crime?
And the nutmeg?
As we have covered in previous episodes, Connecticut has many charms.
3 specifically.
Specifically those 3.
Those 3. Well, I enjoy fall. I'm with Danny. I like the cooling down of seasons. I don't like feeling like I'm sweating all the time when I am just sitting down, which is nice. And I like fall foods a lot. I don't like gourds and pumpkins. I don't hate them as much as Johnny, but I don't know.
What would you put in the category of fall foods, my friend?
You know,
Mushrooms.
so many things. Apples,
It's mushroom season.
mushrooms,
Go out and get your mushrooms.
cinnamon. I do like apples, cinnamon, that sort of like that vibe. That vibe.
That's a good vibe.
Yeah, it's a good vibe. Well, you know what's not a good vibe is 5 centipedes and screaming children. And there are many screaming children in this theater that is packed with a number of Northern Water Tribe people that have come to see Ren's play, which I was listening back to it, Steve. Again, just phenomenal. That's so funny. I was dying laughing listening to your
good.
play.
So it's on the floor. It's incredible.
I think maybe eventually we should have on Patreon a goal to have like the whole play. Or like a tiny script of it. It'd be hilarious. That would be really funny.
Really fun. That would.
Fun.
Also, the perks of getting us to video at some point is that you get to see Nick abandon his camera when like something really intense happens.
Yeah.
And you can wonder where he is, but you could probably assume, oh, Nick is on the floor.
So Ren put on his play, and your goal was to try and get Iron there, and Osa had reached out to him through the spirit world and has a clue of where he went, maybe. And Iron said that while he won't show up, he'll certainly send someone to greet you as well. And after you're done with the play, you put it on, and there are 5 figures who stay standing after the standing ovation. Their faces shift away. Their skin rips, and 5 centipedes come pouring out. And the entire place is screaming. Everyone is running and terrified. Ren is up on stage. The four of you are not. You see, Ren, you specifically see this because you're up front and can see the whole crowd. Next to one of these centipedes now, there's like a couple that scream, and the centipede looks at them, and you see their faces vanish, and you see the centipede's face shift between this couple's face before vanishing again and showing a centipede face, and the couple just like crumples down to the ground. And you can see too that the rest of these centipedes are like converging not just on you guys, but on all the people that are screaming and running away and showing emotion on their face. What do the five of you do?
I think Ren initially just freezes, like the color drains from his face, and he's just standing in like a ring of thrown bouquets and flowers.
I forgot you're on the stage, yeah.
And tries as best as he can to just wipe the expression off, but does not move yet.
Pretty sure I had moved crystals under two
of them.
Two of them.
That's right.
Yes.
I'm gonna just immediately capture them in Crystal Prison.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to turn to the rest of the group. We should get up by Ren. I'm going to take us. And then I'm going to do an Earth launch and launch the four of us over to Ren.
I'm up on a separate part, aren't I?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, you're away from now. So I'm saying this to Liko and to Osa. Right?
Is there Earth to bend?
Oh yeah. What are these seats made of?
Not Earth.
Oh, she just goes
just
down
in like a palatial ice palace zone.
Yeah, I reached down to like launch us, and then just nothing happens again. And she's like,
before we get too much further, I would like a rely on your skills and training to try and trap these centipedes.
It's under basic moves, right?
Yes.
While he's doing that, Justin, how far away are they from us?
They're us all around. There's a couple behind you. There's one in front of you to the right, one in front of you to the left, and like another behind you to the right. They're sort of all over.
That's a 9.
Okay. You easily capture one of them, and it starts to stare at a passing by screaming person, and then it just gets encapsulated in this crystal. And as you reach out towards the other crystal, it is in the process of staring down one of these bystanders. If you don't mark a fatigue, you're also going to encapsulate this bystander in with the centipede.
I will mark that fatigue.
Yep. So you see this quickly and pull back, or maybe like with some of the crystal, like push the bystander just a little away and encapsulate these other centipedes. So now there are 3. We will say that there is one in front of you to the left. There is one behind you to the right. And there's one sort of like directly to your left. Like a little further down the aisle.
Justin, is there any quick way for Rozak to get down? Because I know I had said that I was in one of the more front, upper seats.
Yeah, you were in
stage left
on one of the.
How does stage left to stage right work? I don't know.
Monroe?
Yeah. Is there any quick way to get down though? Or is it high enough where I can just sort of jump down? Or low enough where I can sort of just jump down?
It is not. There is a door that has it makes its way to some like spiraling stairs that go down to the first floor, though.
Like looking down, if Rozak were to just jump down, would it be pretty bad?
It's only one way to find out. What do you want to do?
How many feet up am I from the ground?
I mean, enough feet that it's not impossible, but it's certainly a risky action.
Okay. I'm going, Rozak will sort of just like back up a bit and just sort of try to dive down as close as he can get to Shay, Osa, and Liko. And he's going to try his best to break his fall into like a tumble.
Mm-hmm. I would absolutely love for you to push your luck.
Okay. I am pushing. That is
push it real good.
8. Nope, never mind. That's an 11. I was looking at Johnny's last roll. That's an 11.
Okay. That's pretty good.
I would like to...
Let me just say what happens first, and then we'll switch the spotlight over to you. Rozak, you jump off this roof and try and tuck and roll down into this first floor. I would like for you to mark a fatigue. That is what it costs you to scrape by, as you get kind of like banged up and bruised, and you like slam into one of the chairs. But in slamming into that chair, you actually like knock it off of where it's resting and into the centipede that is on the same aisle as your friends. It's not out for the count, but it's kind of stunned momentarily.
Nice.
Liko, what do you want to do?
I would like to... I'm going to guess this is probably either push my luck or rely on my skills and training, but I'd like to use water that I have on me to turn it into ice bullets to shoot at one of the closest centipedes.
Yeah, the one on your left is stunned from a chair that Rozak accidentally knocked into it.
So there's another one behind us, correct?
Behind you to the right, correct.
All right, I'll take that one.
Okay. You turn around. Yeah, why don't you rely on your skills and training? Look at you guys. Okay, all right. You turn around, Liko, and just start barraging this other centipede with ice bullets. And it's very easy to do because this entire place is made of ice. So you're basically just like, when you start to run out, you just take some from like the walls and the other chairs and just start pelting it continuously with these ice pellets. And for the moment, it is also unable to respond. Osa, what is Osa doing?
I run up and just climb up onto the stage as fast as I can and kind of put myself in between Ren and the spirits that are out in the audience and take sort of a defensive stance. And just kind of look over my shoulder and say, "Are you okay?"
No. But your face. Make sure they don't see your face.
Yeah, I've met these guys.
What?
I guess we should get everyone out of here.
Yeah.
Ren seems slightly broken out of a spell by your presence. and kind of puts a hand weakly on your back and then starts fumbling and says,
the megaphone. Maybe I can tell the people not to show any emotion. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Where is it?
Ren points off just below the stage to where he had been sitting in an elevated director's chair, and there's a cone kind of laying at the base of it.
Is there any spirits near it, Justin?
You know what? Why don't you... Well, you can just see it. No, there are no spirits by it.
Okay, then I rush over to get the cone and try to rush there and back. Bring it to Ren.
Why don't you push your luck, Osa?
Nice.
9.
Okay.
Is there? I was thinking. So, are there still Kohs like standing or like up?
Yes, there are 3 still. Yep. One is momentarily stunned by the chair. One is being pelted by ice bullets, but for how much longer, before it can get out of theirs. And then there's one that has not been touched at all. And that is the one that, as Osa rushes to the megaphone, it catches sight of you, sees you running for the megaphone. And it doesn't catch you when you get it, but it starts to follow you when you go, as you're going back towards Ren. It is very quickly behind the 2 of you.
I'm going to say, Liko, cover your eyes. I'm going to stand up on the chairs, like, by me, just as tall as I can, like, on the backs of the chairs. Hold up the flash grenade that Joban gave me forever ago. I keep doing that. And say, hey, many-legged freaks, look over here. And I'm going to use the is that the best you've got move to goad them into foolhardy action. So
Okay. All right.
I'm going to roll with passion. I already said what I wanted them to do.
Yes. Look your way.
7.
Okay. So I get to choose now. I think I get to choose.
Yes.
On a 7 to 9, they do it, but are more intensely than expected. They do it, but more carefully than expected. They don't do it, but they embarrass themselves, or they don't do it, but only catch themselves at the last minute. Che, I want you to push your luck.
Awesome. $11.
Okay. They all look at you for a moment, and thankfully, you were able to steal your own emotions as you said this. As they, all 3 of them, turn and stare at you. This flash grenade goes off, blinding everyone looking at it. And I think Che, in that moment where they stare at you, you didn't go in that cabin. You don't know what these things are like. And so the minute all 3 of them stare at you, there's just something about the way they're staring at you that throws you off. And you forget to close your eyes in that moment. And so you're now taken off guard a little bit as you're blinded momentarily by this flash grenade as well. But you have blinded the 3 of them. Also momentarily.
Rebound. Wasn't expecting that. My eyes.
Rosic, you catch yourself and have stood up now, just in time to like duck away and look away as this blinding flash comes out. What do you do now that you see all three of the other ones that are standing are kind of like momentarily tipsy a little bit, trying to like catch their balance?
And they're all kind of spread apart too.
They are, yeah. They're in sort of like a triangle around Che and Liko.
Yeah, so the other two, Liko's pelting one with ice bullets, and the other one's in a crystal prison.
There's two in a crystal prison. I would probably say that having been told to shut her eyes, the ice bullets stopped momentarily. Yeah, stopped for a bit.
Alright. And there's still like people littered throughout the room.
Oh yeah, there's still tons of people, and I mean, you can look around and see that none of them are doing anything to stop themselves from showing emotion on their face because they don't know.
So I want to try something. Just two of any of the three of them who are currently like stunned from Che's flashbang or whatever. Rozak tries to like shoot out a continuous like flame, like a stream of flame, like a flamethrower, at two of their faces. Just sort of tries to like hold it there, right at their faces. So because he knows after that fight with that one, the previous spirit they encountered, he knows he can't really like damage them, but he wants to like keep this flame pointed at these two flames pointed at their faces. To try to buy some time.
Yeah, why don't you rely on your skills and training?
Oh, I just rolled resist for shifting my balance. 1 second. All right, here we go. That is a 12.
Jeez. You put your hands out and torrents of fire go rushing towards these little centipedes' faces. And surprisingly, you see them recoil, almost as they're hurt by this.
Right.
And you see two of them start to like shrink down, almost as if they're like trying to curl into themselves to get away from the pain.
All right, and as Rozak's doing that, he sort of to Ren and Osa, he goes, "Whatever you guys are doing, do it fast!" And he tries to keep the flames going.
Liko, you have stopped your ice bullets and closed your eyes from this flash grenade. As you stand up, you can see that Rozak has now got two of these other centipedes kind of pinned down with his flames. There's still one that is coming out of the flash grenade at any moment. What do you do, if anything? There are also still tons of people that are running around and screaming.
I want to try something. I've never done this before in this kind of way, but I was thinking about, you know how waterbenders can raise ice as shields? Would it be possible to do it in front of this centipede, but have it so thick that it actually shows a reflection?
I like that.
Probably push my luck with that one, maybe.
Yeah, or I'm assuming your goal is to get them to look at themselves in that reflection?
Yes, because that's the only thing that I think, not the only thing, but the main thing that Liko remembers that worked last time.
How do we feel about a trick instead?
Don't I have... Yeah, okay. I can do that.
Man, you
7.
guys rolling well tonight. So on a 7 to 9, you pick one. They either stumble and you take +1 forward against them, they act foolishly, or they overcommit.
Man, that's hard. Okay, I'm gonna take they act foolishly. Listeners don't know that this is actually what helps build the anxiety for us players. Is just the waiting of.
I know. Justin just like silently nodding, just like.
He needs that time, but still, it's like
I do.
But it builds anxiety for the rest of us.
Let's get our lives on a scale.
Liko, being someone from the foggy swamp, you are pretty in touch with the spirit world, more in tune probably than some of your other compatriots besides maybe Osa now. And you throw up this wall of ice in front of this centipede. And it's so thick that there isn't a reflection. But looking on the other side of the ice at you, you see a massive centipede staring at you. And behind it, you can see it looks like a swamp. It looks like dark and dreary, and the sun is covered by whatever trees are there. And it is just watching you, waiting to see if you show any emotion.
So, Justin, just to be clear, this is like a portal of some sort. Not a portal, but just like it's not really. I understand.
We're getting the shrug treatment.
Yeah, Justin just shrugged.
Okay.
We just have to narrate the shrug. Justin, when you shrug, just say, I shrug. I shrug. I shrug at you.
Say asterisk, shrugs, asterisk.
Well, in that case, Liko, very much like Ren, just does, focuses so much on trying not to show any emotion. So she's pretty much just frozen.
Ren, Osa has now handed you the megaphone.
Oh, good. What was the name of the lady who worked here at the palace?
I believe it was Linu.
I think that sounds right. It's a good thing that Linu brought it back because they had taken this from me. Ren smiles and then all of a sudden, looks at you, Osa, and drops all the emotion in his face again and takes a deep breath to collect himself. And then speaks into the megaphone, into the cone out at the audience area. Everyone, I know this is scary, but do your best to show no emotion to these spirits and leave in a collected manner. Show no emotion. Is that a plead? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it 100% is. I was just checking to see if there's any more specific playbook move you had, but I definitely feel like, yeah, it's a plead for sure.
Let's see. Okay, here it is. The first low roll.
It's still a hit,
but though. I have a +2. 7. Just barely across the line into a hit.
Ooh. Ren, you can tell that, there are people of all different ages, and people from the Earth Kingdom, people even from the Fire Nation. There are people from all over the world in here for this food festival. So some are at this theater as well too, and some of them get it. Some of them try their best to drop any emotion from their face. But you can tell that Obviously, some of the kids are struggling. Even some of the adults are having trouble in the midst of sheer terror and panic, like not showing any emotion at all. And so you realize very quickly that you are going to have to, at some point, stop fighting these things in order to get these people out. You're going to have to, as a collective group, you're going to have to let up some pressure in order to try and escort some of these people out.
Okay. Now that the message is out, Ren drops the cone.
Oh, so I think we just need to help these people.
And he points at a family who's just kind of on their knees hiding in a cluster of broken chairs.
Okay, you go on that side of the room, I'll go on the other. And Osa looks at the other three of our group and says, we're gonna help people get out. You guys keep the spirits contained, okay? And Osa, I jump off the stage and rush towards the family that Ren pointed out.
It's like a family, and there's there's two moms, and their like little girl and their son, and they're just like crying, all four of them.
What is happening? Okay, it's okay. I'm gonna help you. I don't think you can stop. Okay, I want all of you to cover your faces and lean into me, and I'm gonna guide you out of here. And Osa kind of just like, as if they listen, he's kind of wrapping his arms around all of them, and kind of he's got his arms, and he's just kind of walking them out of the playhouse theater. That's the word I couldn't find.
The playhouse.
Let's have you.
We've used palace and theater and like one other, so you're welcome to innovate.
What was that, Justin?
Theater.
Let's have you plead as well, please.
Plead. Cool. That's a 9. I was nervous about that one.
Should Rose like yell at the kids to make it a 10?
You better listen to him. Shut up.
The taller woman sort of like shakes her head. She's like, no, we're staying here. If we leave, they'll see us. If we leave, they'll see us. No, we can't do it. We can't. We have to stay here. It's safest right here.
It's not. If you stay here, you will not be okay. You need to come with me.
And her tears stop for a second, and she goes, she looks you in the eye, Osa. Promise my kids will be okay?
I'll do everything I can to keep them safe.
Okay. And you start walking with this family towards the exit. Che, it's at this point that your eyes start to readjust to the scene in front of you. And it's changed a little bit. There's a couple streams of fire. There's like an ice wall. Oh, and a giant centipede that's staring at you all from the side of the ice wall that you can see.
I take a deep breath. Stronger. And I steel my face. And I look at... So the ice wall has like a giant centipede showing on it?
Mm-hmm.
That's not real. I'm not dealing with that. What's one of the ones that's like more operating in this area, like that's being more dangerous?
So there are two that Rozak has sort of pinned with his fire, but they're starting to get back up now. Now that this giant centipede has shown its face, something about that has given them a little resolve. And you can tell that they're starting now to move towards Rozak. And there is another one that is on the other side of the ice wall, and you can start to see some of its like legs poke out from the outside of the wall as it starts to like crawl away from the ice wall.
All right. So Che probably wouldn't connect, doesn't have the context to connect that. The image is giving them some sort of resolve. He'll go for one of the ones that's going after Rozak.
Okay.
And I'm going to, like, no more capture, no more slowing them down. He's going to grow a gem spike as sharp and as large as he can make it and just fire it at one of them. Center of mass.
Why don't you... Have we mastered that yet? You haven't mastered crystal bending, right? The technique. No,
I don't think so. No.
Give me a push your luck.
Fair. Uh, 12.
Man, you guys.
Still cost me something.
It does, and I know it does. I know it does. And you get a lucky opportunity. All right, I'll tell you what. Here's the lucky opportunity. You fire this crystal spike with such force that it actually hits one of the ones that was about to pounce on Rozak, and it pins it to the wall. Just straight through and pins it to the ice wall. Now, what it costs you to scrape by is that the gaze of the giant centipede in the reflection of the ice shifts and just stares at you. And it is the strangest thing, because while it's this giant centipede, like the face, it almost just looks like a kabuki mask. It's like a tiny kabuki mask inside of the centipede face just staring at you, and it like blinks, like there's like eyelids around this face that blink, and you see the face of Kyoshi Warrior, and then it blinks and you see that kabuki mask again. And then it blinks, and you see the face of Iron. And I want to know what Shay's thinking. I want to know what Shay's feeling.
Jay's immediately a little confused. He's like, did Iron let his face get stolen? He cocks his head, but he doesn't let his face change. Or you can say he does. I don't know. It's up to you.
It seems like a push or luck.
Can I make the argument that this is a rely on my skills and training? Because no, I got this good. Because Che very much had to, as much as it doesn't seem like it now, he had to restrain his emotions constantly while he was living with his father.
Sure.
All right, cool.
When abuse is a skill.
Yes, use your trauma.
Actually, it makes sense to me.
It does.
It makes a lot of sense.
Oh, that's better.
I just imagine Ren on his director's chair, like, yes, Che, use your trauma.
It's a 6. Wait, can Rosa killing that be the +1? Reach into your trauma.
Rosa will kick Che.
That could hurt or help.
Rosa looks and says, Che, why are you smiling? There's like a tiny little smirk on Che's face.
How hard of a move do I want to make here?
Do it.
We're gonna be an arm and a face down. Come on.
It's spooky season. You see the ice wall start to glow with this unnatural light as the face is no longer inside of the ice wall staring at you. It has started to push out of the ice wall into this theater. And Shay, you were so good at holding your emotions in check when it was just a reflection. You even said it, it's not real. And now it's real. And something about that scares you. And you show just the slightest emotion on your face. And Liko, you see this thing push out of the wall. And then all of a sudden, where the kabuki face was, you now see Chay's face staring at you. As it then recedes back into the wall. And all the other centipedes shrivel and fall unconscious.
Processing. Hold on. So this face doesn't disappear, or Chay's face doesn't disappear, it just goes back into Chay.
Or you're talking about the thing that came out of the ice wall. It disappears, yeah. There's now no longer a reflection in the ice wall.
There's nothing there. I immediately look at Chay's his physical body.
And you look and Chay is missing his face.
Oh my god.
Is there still a centipede on the other side of that wall? Nothing's there. They're all shriveled up, correct? Then Liko just runs to Chay's body.
Chay's moving. He's fine.
He's fine.
I think it'd be pretty clear from anyone watching that Chay's not all right.
What is Chay
rubbing
doing?
where your face should be?
Yeah, so the first, like, he makes movements, like, first, like, reaching out, like someone does when the lights are turned off, and then, like, you see his form, like, freeze, and he's just, like, puts his hands to his face a little bit, and then he just sort of, like, stiffens, like, really straight, and then crouches down to the ground.
So
Kind of balls up.
So Liko, when she runs up to his body, she'll just gently tap on his shoulder. If I remember correctly, they can still hear, right? They're just missing their face. Mm-hmm. And I tell him very softly that it's me. I say, Chay, it's me.
At the touch, if you touch him before you say anything, he, like, immediately, like, pulls away from it. But as you say something, he, like, relaxes slightly.
And then I reach out again to touch his shoulder.
He sort of leans into it.
And then I reach towards his back to rub it a bit. And then I use my other hand to grab his hand.
And you can feel him sort of, like, shake slightly. In a manner that you'd assume if you could see his face, you'd be crying.
Mm-hmm.
Ren announces in his loudest voice,
Everyone, you can leave. It's over.
and he walks towards Chay and Liko.
Yeah. Osa says to the family that he's with, you guys should be safe now. I think the worst is over. Sorry you had to go through that. Bye.
I think upon seeing the centipedes shrink, Rose will be like, did we do it, guys? And he turns around, and upon seeing Che, Rose just goes, no, and he runs over to Che and Liko and just sort of like holds him as well. Doesn't really know what to say. Rose looks at Osa actually and goes, Osa, is there anything we can do? You know spirits.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing I can try. I can't promise it's gonna work. Osa, I sit down, get in a meditative position, and start meditating. And using my call from afar move, I'm gonna reach out to the Mother of Faces.
Okay.
So
tell me a little bit, Osa. Hold the roll, whatever you roll is fine. Just tell me a little bit about how Osa knows about that. Where did he learn that?
So when Osa was in the spirit world, as we know, he went to find Ren's fan and came across, I don't know that he came across Koh himself, but he definitely came across some of Koh's children in that area. And I think he would have asked spirits while he was in the spirit world about what the heck is up with these centipedes that steal faces, and found out who Koh and the Mother of Faces are.
That makes sense. What did we roll?
Rolled a 6. So
rolled a 6. Yeah. And on a miss, your reach extends beyond your original aim, and you've attracted dangerous attention.
Oh my God. Koh just comes
bad to worse.
Can I help?
If you can come up with a real good way that Ren can also help Osa contact the Mother of Faces to the spirit world.
I think if there's anybody who could help Osa here, it's Ren.
After our connection, I think all I would do is join in a meditation with Osa. But it's up to you whether that's a point or not.
How do the rest of you feel about that?
I don't think I should answer this question.
Can I make an argument for why that would help? Why that would be helpful?
Sure.
Plead my case. So I think Osa, in this moment, seeing what's happened, I don't think he's outwardly showing it, but he is panicked. And I think that Ren coming and just sitting beside him, whether he's meditating or not, is going to help calm Osa down and bring him into a state of greater clarity.
If I may add, me, Monroe, I'm okay with it, but I think Liko would would want to do something. Since she also has a experience dealing with the spirit world. But I'll let you decide.
All right. I have heard your arguments.
The people have spoken.
I unfortunately have taken your faces, so I can't hear your arguments.
You took all their faces?
Yeah.
Rose no. Oh no.
It's just Rose. You're just surrounded by faces.
Worst case scenario.
All right. If both Liko and Ren are helping, I will let one of you mark fatigue and say that is enough to help. Osa.
I don't know if what Monroe's describing is a help action. What would you do, Liko?
Well, he just needs one, right? So if narratively, both Liko and Ren are sitting down and meditating, I'm okay with just Ren marking the fatigue.
That's why I want to ask Liko what she would do.
I was going to enter the spirit world.
Oh, okay, cool. I wasn't sure if you were going to object or something to the meditation or whatever Liko would do. So. Oh
no, I apologize. No, Liko would never stand in between that. It was just I don't think Liko would not do anything.
For sure. Okay. Yeah, we both join your side. And Ren says,
You've got this. Che, we've gotten a whole village of faces back before. So don't worry. And then Ren tries to meditate.
Che just puts up a little thumbs up.
Yeah, so Osa, specifically mechanically, Justin, I'm using the cry for help choice. But Osa reaches out and just says, internally, technically, but Mother of Faces, if you can hear me, your evil son, Koh, has stolen the face of a friend of mine. And we need... I don't think we can get his face back, but I know you can give people faces, so if you could give him a new face so that he has a face, that'd be... I'd be willing to give you something in return if I have it. And that's the message.
I should say too, Ren and Nico, your meditating does not actually enter the spirit world.
Okay.
Ren, you've still, even though you know what to do and you've like kind of done it, you just can't for some reason. There's just something stopping you. Almost like maybe what happened was a fluke. And Liko, when you enter the spirit world, it was in the Foggy Swamp, which is a deeply spiritual place, and a deeply spiritual place to waterbenders specifically. So it makes sense that maybe there was something there. But here in just a random theater in the Northern Water Tribe, you don't enter the spirit world, as Osa makes this connection. And I'm just looking up something because I'm pretty sure that the Mother of Faces asks for something.
Just a question.
Yeah.
You said that one of us has to take a fatigue. If it doesn't work, do we still take that?
It does. It does help.
It's a help
about
action.
The spiritual.
I can
yeah,
take fatigue.
You don't enter the spirit world, but you're meditating. Your spiritual energies surround Osa and help push him to make this call.
Okay.
I hate dial-up.
Identity.
Foggy Bones reference.
Oh, this is true.
This is interesting if I'm reading this right.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
In this ice palace, you don't know where it came from, but on the ground there appears to be a tiny seed. Also, you come out of your vision call and you look down at the ground, and there's just a tiny seed sitting at your feet. And then all of a sudden the seed starts to sprout. And then it grows. These roots grow larger and larger and larger until all of a sudden there is a 7-foot, 8-foot tree standing in this palace. And as it's in this humanoid shape, it almost looks like a dress that goes up. 2 arms made of wood now come down to the side, and it comes up to this wood-looking crown, and under the crown are 4 faces on the north, east, south, and west. And there's just this glowing light that enraptures this building and then subsides as the Mother of Faces is standing before you.
Oh, what did my son do now?
He took his face. They took several faces, but
Let me see. Let me see.
And
when she says, "Let me see," Osa goes, "Che, it's Osa," and I take Che's hand and kind of bring him
Che had
over.
already stood up. He was already like trying to.
Yeah, I'm like guiding you. Yeah, guiding you in front of.
And Che, you feel this very tender hand touch where your face would be, and it's well, I mean, Liko and Che maybe tell me there might be something familiar about it, as it's like a wooden hand.
He still recoils from it as like an immediate reaction, but as he like feels it, it is somewhat familiar, but he knows it's different.
It's different, and it's motherly, like it's tender.
I am sorry. I am sorry my son did this to you. I am assuming you want me to fix this, yes?
Shane nods his head vigorously.
Are these your friends?
Nods his head again.
And you, for how long have you known this person?
Justin, how long have we known each other? Is that like a year?
It's been
a few months.
Yeah.
I've known him for a year.
Yeah, we've been together as a group for a year, but they're brothers.
Yeah. Now I was gonna say, after hearing that, Rose like definitely stands up and starts to approach the mother face and goes, I'm his brother.
And this 8-foot tree shrinks down so that she's about the same size as you, Rozak. And she moves away from Che and walks in front of you and just tenderly grabs both of your hands.
He will no longer be your brother if I give him a new face. You need to understand that. If I give him a new face, he won't remember you.
There's no other option.
I can give him a face, but I cannot give him memories. I offer humanity one gift a season.
Let me just double check that. I think it's one gift a season.
But what if there are no seasons in the Northern Water Tribe?
Infinite gifts.
I think that would be the one gift ever if there's no.
Oh no. On Kella, where it's always Christmas. Do you need more than one face for your family? Come to Ankella.
I have the ability to grant memories of an old life. But I'm only able to give one gift to humanity a season. You've caught me at the beginning of a season, and I can grant a face. But you will have to wait and pray that my gift does not come and pass next season.
So everything we've been through, he won't remember any of that.
And she squeezes your hand and nods her head.
It should be up to Che, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
He's already shaking his head.
No or yes?
No, side to side, to be clear.
Rozak sort of turns and looks at Che, sort of like puts his hand on the side of his head, and so as to turn Che's face towards him, he puts both his hands on his face and he goes, Che, we've done this before, right? In a year, we went our entire lives without knowing each other, and what I'm saying is we've done this before, Che. It's not, we can do it again. You know, we learned about each other so much over this past year. I think it's worth it. You kind of need your face, man.
Shade grabs both your hands and like pulls them a little bit down from his face, and then like reaches out to your face, and then kind of steps to your right a little bit, and his hand sort of rotates back around the back of your head, and then he lifts it away and then smacks you in the back of the head. And then shakes his head again, saying no.
I mean, if this might be a good thing, Che. We can start over. I don't know if there are some things that happened in this past year that I feel like kind of got between us, and this might be a new opportunity, like our new opportunity, one I've been looking for.
Forgetting isn't healing, Rozek.
She
said no.
tries to point at the source of that, like affirming it.
Over here.
Misses
Over here.
slightly. Yeah, it lines it up.
I'm not that tall, but thank you.
Go ahead.
I can. Rozek looks at Ren. I can help him remember. We can all help him remember. It's not completely forgetting, and we can help him remember.
But we can't.
Minus the things that hurt.
We can't give back his feelings, though. He won't. We can tell him what happened, but it's not the same. I look at the Mother of Faces and I say, "Are you sure there's nothing else you can do?"
Could you teach us how to get his face back? From Koh?
Also, why don't you plead? And if need be, Ren, you can mark another fatigue to help.
All right.
It need be. I rolled a 6.
What be the need? Okay. I will mark a fatigue to get us to 7. Wow, I'm getting really tired of all this pleading.
We're about to plead out. But out.
I have heard your requests. I cannot restore all of his memories. But since it is the nefarious work of my son, I do have some leeway. However, I need to have objects of great power in my vicinity. There is a mask. A wooden mask crafted by my evil son that he has gifted to someone. I can sense its presence in the area. If I were to have that mask, I could restore some of your memories. Most. But there would be some things that would be missing.
What about his face?
It will look different, but it will be him.
It's not so
Jane,
bad.
Are you okay with this?
You see him just kind of shrug.
I think it should be up to Che. It's his body, it's his face, it's his memories.
I mean, forgetting some
pressure,
things,
though.
Forgetting some things is definitely better than forgetting everything.
Jay points to his head and then tries to like motion like with his hands in the air, like in a questioning manner.
Hold on. I don't understand.
Still working on that psychic connection.
Yeah.
He waves like no, not to you, to Liko, and then points at, well, tries to point at the wood lady. I think he's still got her positioned somewhere close by.
Points
And
right
then-
to the right of her.
He points at the wall.
And then points back to his head, and then makes a questioning gesture.
I think he wants to know what he'll forget and what he'll remember.
Oh, that's a really good question, Jay.
I can't believe we didn't think of that.
I understand why you would ask that question. Unfortunately, I don't have a concrete answer. It changes for everybody. Sometimes it is small things, sometimes it's one large thing. Memory, a person, a place.
All right, now Nick's question: Are you just gonna pick something, or like some things that I'm gonna forget, or is it gonna come up as it goes?
That's a great question,
And it's a shrug.
It is a shrug. We're coming up at the end of this episode, so I'm gonna check in with you because this is too juicy of a story to just drop, but I want to make sure you're okay with what happens. I think there's a couple great ways we could take it. So I think ultimately I'm going to, when you get your face back, I think I'm going to ask you what you forget. And I'm going to leave that up to you.
All right, I'm cool with that.
You forgot every bad dumpling that you had.
Remember the word the. No matter how hard you try, you don't know it.
So me as Liko, I'm gonna just ask the obvious here, just for story purposes, but we were able to get back the faces of an entire village. How long and how difficult would that be to get Che's face and his memories back?
When you saved the village of Yudai, it was Ko's offspring, a fraction of his power that invaded that village.
Right.
Your friend's face was stolen by my son himself.
Yeah.
If
we were to find him,
to defeat him, I don't even think I could bring myself to do it. I don't, though.
You don't have a way.
what would happen if we were to find him, your son?
We'd probably all lose our faces too.
You would have to remain emotionally stoic the entire conversation with him and find some way to convince him to give you Ren's face back. And he would undoubtedly want something from you in return.
What does your son cherish besides faces? Anything?
Chase starts to like motion where his face should be with his hand, and then like holds it over his face, his whole hand closed, and then like puts it over people's faces.
You want us to cover our faces when we talk?
He shakes his head and says no.
I think he's saying we'd have to offer one of our faces. No?
Also shakes his head and says no.
Oh, we'd have to offer him a dumpling.
Also shakes his head and says, and also like hangs his head a little bit. He holds his hands up like he's holding something, and then puts it like he's putting something over his face.
You want us to get the mask?
He points at Ren and then kind of does like a maybe sign with his hands, like it holds it like horizontal and shakes it back and forth, and then says, or doesn't say anything.
But instead of bringing the mask here, possibly trying to trade it back for your face.
That is genius.
Shayna's finger guns at Ren.
Looks at Ren and goes, that's such a great idea, Ren.
Okay, so now the question is, where is he?
I have sensed the presence, the spark of Koh in this mask to the north of Alkela in the frozen tundra.
Well, bring some blubber, everybody.
Frozen tundra? Is that what you said?
Yes.
How far is that from where we're at, exactly?
A few miles.
I mean, so our options are find the mask and bring it back to the Mother of Faces, or find the mask, venture into the spirit world, find an evil, powerful spirit, and hope that nothing goes wrong, and hope that he does in fact take the offer of the mask in exchange for my brother's face.
Or the opposite, and your brother gets a new face, and we just hope he remembers us.
I think he wouldn't forget all of us. She said many small things were one big thing. We're several big things.
It's still a risk.
I think that the risk of him forgetting one or two of us is a lot smaller than the risk facing Koh.
Liko obviously feels a lot different about that statement.
Fair enough.
Just to be clear. But, and it kind of shows on her face. And, yeah.
Che has been standing with his arms crossed, and he nods and puts a hand on Osa and points at him.
Are you saying you agree with me? Or...
He nods his head.
So we bring the mask back to the Mother of Faces?
He nods his head again.
And you're sure?
He makes a motion like he's taking a deep breath. But then nods his head again.
Okay. Let's find this mask then.
If you change your mind along the way, just let us know. Somehow.
He nods his head.
I mean, really, we're back here with her to change your mind. You don't have to decide right away.
Thumbs up. Also motion to get moving along.
Yeah. Should we split up and leave Che here? Well, some of us go and get this mask.
Yeah, I think that's probably wise.
Because he has no face.
You're a liability right now, Che.
Yeah.
He can fall off.
He crosses his arms after raising his hands and...
Just saying.
Yeah, you can't see and there's no earth for you to bend anyway.
He motions like you got me there.
Okay, I'll go.
I'm
obviously gonna need some help. So
I definitely want to go. Frozak looks at good old MF, Mother Faces, and are you gonna stay here with Che? Just wait. You're just gonna wait for us?
What is time to a great spirit?
Yeah, right.
Have some tea.
I will not be staying in this theater while I wait for you.
Are you really that busy?
I am a great spirit, one of the oldest spirits I have.
Yeah, so you're retired. Okay, no.
Do I get to retire? It's gotta be coming up soon.
How's the 401k on being a great spirit?
It's okay. They do employer match. But they make me pay for my own insurance, so it's kind of a... It's kind of a toss.
Can I get a referral for future, like...
What's that?
I love it when Danny and Justin just decide to have a moment. It's good.
So maybe we don't leave Che here, then let's leave him with someone.
I can
he sort of whispers,
Che?
says, "Oh, yeah."
You sure, Ren?
I mean, it's better than being alone in the tundra without a face. I can keep him company.
Okay. Well, who should we be looking for? Mother of Faces.
Unfortunately, the only thing I can detect is my son's influence. I don't know who. And it's not even the person, it's the mask I'm detecting.
And the mask is somewhere here, nearby.
North of
It
here.
is a few miles north of here in the tundra.
But it's been you can sense because it's Koh's influence. So if someone can sense spiritual energy, they can find the mask.
Potentially.
Okay, I think we'll be okay. We know it's north. Let's start heading north.
Sounds good.
Thank you. And I bow to the Mother of Faces.
Liko calls out for Rue to meet us outside. And then, if there is time, Justin, I would like to talk to Ren.
There's absolutely time. And
Alyssa steps outside and calls out for Chad.
I forgot about Chad.
Chad comes swooping down. Hi, bro, what's up? You ready? Let's go.
Yeah, fist bump. Let's do this.
It'd be great if that's what Ren hears in his head whenever Chad speaks.
Before she leaves, Rose like curtsies to the Mother of Faces. And then...
Oh, how polite. Thank you. And to you as well.
What a strange cultural practice.
Ren pats Che and says, "I'll be right back." And goes to meet Liko outside.
Che waves in the wrong direction.
Yeah, they were right to have you stay
I'm
here.
actually not outside.
Oh, I thought you were outside to get Rue. Okay.
No, I just called for her.
Okay. Yeah,
But I
Ren
wasn't
steps
outside.
aside with Liko.
Yeah, I'm still near Che because I still want to say goodbye to him. Ren, the last time I did anything remotely close to retrieving someone else's face, it was with you. And she looks around and she sees faceless Che. And then she leans in to Ren's ear and says, "I'm actually really scared."
I'm scared too. I think I was more scared this time than last time, to be honest.
I hate to ask you this, but do you still have that fan?
Ren smiles.
Thanks to Osa, yeah, I actually do. Do you think it could help again?
It worked the first time, and I'd rather go there with something than nothing.
We don't know what you're up against, so it can't hurt.
Ren gives Liko the fan.
I can't promise that I'll bring it back, though. So I just want to make sure that you're okay with that.
Yes, definitely. It's for Che.
And I stick it in. I'm gonna guess I have some pockets or holsters.
You better.
I hope. We never really talked about it. What I got going on here, and I I give him a hug. And I say, please protect him.
Ren nods very seriously.
And then I part from him, and then I walk up to Che. And I reach out my real hand, not my fake one. And I reach out to his hand. I kind of like touch it just a little bit so he knows I'm right there.
He grabs it fully.
I'm not really good at any of this stuff, and I don't know if I'll come back, so I just wanted,
He pulls Liko into an embrace. He grabs her like by the sides of her face and then puts his forehead, which is still the same, against her forehead.
It's all forehead, really.
It's like 10 head at that point.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is our first kiss. I was like, oh my god.
Make it seem as least like a kiss as possible.
No, I got you. It's just forehead to forehead.
Forehead to forehead, and like holds her there for a moment.
And she starts cheering up, and then tries to crack a joke by saying, this is really weird.
You see him sort of like shake a little bit, like he's chuckling, and then sort of like lets you go and gives you a thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
So Liko just kind of looks at him, and she obviously is not good with words, so she just leaves. But before she walks out, she takes one last look at Che, and then looks at Ren and nods.
Ren nods in return.
And you board Rue, and Osa and Rosic board Chad. And you take off.
Board Chad.
Oh, Chad. You take off.
No, actually, I think I was going to say I want to leave Chad, actually, because we can all fit on Rue. And if something happens, they'll make Ren and Che get something.
The 3 of you then get on Rue and begin flying out of Ankilla North into the icy tundra. And it is there that we will pick up next time. Wow, I love it. Love it when stuff happens and I'm like, didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, because nothing ever happens in this podcast.
Nothing ever happens. It's pretty quiet most of the time.
Mostly just a series of plays within plays.
Yeah. It's like, if I had to describe it in one word, it'd be like cottagecore. That's our podcast.
Telenovela cottagecore.
Telenovela cottagecore.
There's the mashup we all need.
Oh my god.
That's fun. I like that. That's good. Steve, you got any words for our listeners other than in telenovela cottagecore?
Well, thankfully I do have a face, so I can share some. We're having an uncalled for amount of fun making these stories. If you love what we're doing, consider helping us out for $5 a month. Literally the cost of a pack of collagen-infused eye masks, which, by the way, has been completely disproven to help anybody because we don't absorb collagen through the skin in any significant way. We actually absorb it through our diet. Literally, for the cost of those, you could just help our podcast and help us get to our next Patreon goal. So think about that while you think about what we're going to do to get Che's face back. Or get Che a slightly altered face and altered memories. Oh, this is very sad. Okay. I'm feeling feelings. Yeah.
We're all still processing it. We're all definitely still processing it.
Also, just so no face mask companies feel like what Steve said is libelous, just eat the face mask if you really need the collagen.
But if that's not something you can do right now, we'd love a review, and it really helps us spread the word. So thank you.
Yeah, 5-star review specifically. If it's a 1-star review, don't worry about it. It's okay.
Yeah, that's true. You don't need to give us those, but you can message us directly and say, "Be better."
Yeah, if you've got beef with us, let us know. I'm an adult enough. You can tell me if you got beef with this podcast, and I'll steal your face.
Let me know over FaceTime. Let me know over FaceTime.
Let me see your emotions.
Come on.
This has been the Flying Bison Podcast, and we hope you've enjoyed exploring the Four Nations with us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
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 Avatar Legends was developed and produced by Magpie Games. The worlds of Avatar The Last Airbender and Avatar The Legend of Korra are property of Viacom CBS. Intro music is Dizu by Sendai. Outro music is Tokyo Funk by LATG Music. Logo and art by Cate and Matthew Mahnke. You can find more of their work at pomakin.com, link in the show notes.